CEO of ABSCBN Global Limited. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. And also we have Ms. Maribel Hernandez, who is joining us as well, the Managing Director of ABS-CBN Global for Asia Pacific. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, to all of our media friends, don't be shy. If you want to turn on your camera, you want to vibe with us, that's totally okay as well. But we're so excited that you're all here to, of course, to get to know more about the show that is happening very soon, to get to know more about JR and our very special guests as well. And we also have a lot of fun in store for all of you. So if you have any questions or you just want to react to anything that's happening in our media conference, don't be shy. You can send it in our chat feature. Here's a Zoom. It's there for a reason. Let's use it, you guys. So don't be shy to interact with us and also with one another. So today's fun lang. And that's what we want you guys to have, fun. We want you to have fun today. So we also have a raffle pala later on. So make sure to stick around for that. Obviously, it's not Filipino if we don't have a raffle. So guys, make sure to stay in the call so that you can join our raffle because we have exciting prizes in store for all of you. And when I say exciting, they're really exciting. I wish I could join the raffle then, but sadly, I have to, give chance to others. Give chance to others. But hi, Sir Raymond. Thank you also for turning on your camera. I don't feel alone right here. And also, of course, JR, but I will intro him properly later on as well. But it's very exciting because all of this is made possible by Mix, since Mix is bringing the international Phil-Am stand-up comedian JR de Guzman to Manila this June for JR de Guzman later that evening, a musical stand-up comedy experience. So it's happening June 3 at the theater at Solaire. So make sure to mark your calendars if you haven't yet. Make sure to do so. Invite your friends, family, mga kapitbahay ninyo. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to watch the show. Tickets are available at ticketworld.com.ph or at Solaire box office. And we're so excited because Mix has always been the influential source of global music content, original programming, and live experiences. And right now, the Mix Renaissance is upon us, o diba? So to know more about this, let's watch this video.
First mix live ko to.
Good job.
Hey guys, welcome to this exclusive interview.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to another edition of the Mix News Hot List, where we round up the biggest stories for Filipinos around the globe.
So guys, a lot is coming to Mix. Sorry, nagulat ako with my own voice, but that's totally fine. That's what happens. And I'm so excited that you're all here because, like I said, a lot of great things are coming to Mix this year, especially the show as well that we are talking about today. And I don't want to keep you any longer. We are now moving on to the man of the hour. This multi-awarded international Filipino-American comedian has entertained all over the world, and he's currently on his nationwide US tour, and he's getting ready for the Asian leg of his later that evening show, which will kick off in Singapore and then, of course, to his motherland, the Philippines. So to know more about JR de Guzman, let's watch this.
Being the only Asian dude in a white town, I had some self-esteem issues because there was no Asian role models to help me feel sexy. Like white people had Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. All we had as Asian men was Jackie Chan. He would only fight, he would never love. Like every movie, he's just like, who killed my uncle?
A Chinese guy on a bike, a Korean guy on a bike. These are two things that look exactly alike. Yeah, that's the racism leaving your bodies. family and I, when we first moved here, we lived in a storage unit. And I feel like that would have been like the most awesome episode of Storage Wars. Like they just open it up and there's a Filipino family inside. On the outside, there's a dude with a trucker hat. He's like, I want that. I don't want those baseball cards. I want that smooth skin family.
And there you have it. So without further ado, everybody, please welcome JR de Guzman. Woo!
Yeah, let's go. What an intro,
Let's
you
go.
guys. Let's do this. We're here. I'm excited. Sam, it's good to see you again. And everybody else, great to see you. Press people, my good friends Ryan and Red. I'm super excited to reunite with these guys digitally. Because we met back in the day. Red actually just shared a flyer on Facebook and Instagram of a show that we did back in the day in the Philippines. I think it was like 2014 or 15. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Thank you guys for that techno version of my stand-up comedy. That was cool to see. I felt like I was at Coachella watching my stand-up with a little rave background. Yeah. I know.
You gotta fist pump. I think that was the goal, because it's
Yeah.
like morning for us. So we were like, okay, let's go. Getting
Yeah,
excited.
you guys are over caffeinated and everything. Yeah. Good morning,
I
everybody.
totally agree. But hello, JR. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from the States. If I'm not mistaken, you are in the States right now. What was it like watching yourself in that like techno video with all of your jokes that you did in the past too?
It was cool. It was cool. I didn't realize how old I got. I was looking at those and I was like, wow, I look like a little kid. Isn't it? It's weird that we have, I mean, as a comic or anyone, if you're doing something on TV, it's nice because you have this stamp of when you were younger, no matter what it is. And then you can see it 5 years later and just remember how old you are. Yeah. So I felt really old while I was watching that, but it was good. I think I still got it though. I'm using
For sure.
skincare. Thanks, Sam. You didn't have to say that.
Do you
Thank
like how I just went close to my computer so I could see your face?
Yeah, you were looking at all my wrinkles, you're trying to see, and then you were like,
No, none at all.
Yeah.
Diba, guys? Very, very youthful. You have a youthful glow going.
I've
right
been
now.
it's sweat. That's what the glow is. It's sweat. It's nighttime
least
here.
it's free.
I'm tired. It is free.
And it's free. Yeah.
I'm actually
So that's the
using
vibe.
I bought some skincare products for my birthday this year. Just I'm not going to advertise it because we can't do brand names here, but yeah, I won't say it. It's Korean. That's all you have to know.
Oh, at least you're aware, and that's good. I love that you're investing in your skincare. That's really important.
Thank
So
you.
at least when you get back for your show in the Philippines, we'll see the effect of that skincare. No pressure.
That's all it is. I'm just going there. I got to bring the heat because look at you guys all have such good skin. Sam, Aldrin, Raymond, Maribel, all you guys, your skin is so clear. So I think when I go over there, I got to bring my A game skin. I'm gonna be wearing face masks and everything.
No, yeah, I feel like you still have a month literally from now to but your skin looks great, so it's not a problem anymore.
Thanks,
but
Sam.
we're
Thank
so
you.
excited that you're coming back, obviously, because your fan base has been growing literally everywhere all around the world. But speaking of fans, I do want to know, I don't think I got to ask this question in our exclusive. It's just FYI, I was able to interview JR not too long ago, but I do want to know, what is your most memorable fan story or fan encounter you've ever had?
It's a great question. I don't think I have one memory. I have a general pattern of weird interactions that I get. So I'll, after shows, at least like here in the States, because I haven't, it's been a while since I've been in Asia, but after shows, like the titas will come and try to set me up with their daughters. And then after I say that I have a girlfriend, they keep going. They're like, oh, that's okay. And then they'll like show me pictures. And then after I say no to that, then they'll try to hit on me. And it's just like, that's how you know you made it. So first of all, BTS, whoever else is out there, Harry Styles, like they have fans, but not like I do, you know? That's how you've made it. You got to have the titas setting you up and then hitting on you. So I feel pretty good about myself right now. Who cares if my skin has wrinkles?
No, for sure. I think that is the mark of a good man and slash person is if Filipino titas and moms love you because their standards are like
It's so high.
super high. Exactly.
And I'm not a nurse. If I was a nurse, that's not even, who cares? You know, it's like, yeah, they're gonna try to set you up, but I'm a comedian. They would be, I've made it, you know, I've made it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I love that they just disregard the fact that you have a girlfriend. They're just like, it's okay, you know.
She hates
maybe.
it. She'll be standing right there and I'll point at her and then they're like, that's okay. That's okay. And they'll just like keep going. And it boosts my confidence and it gives me the power in the relationship too. So.
Ooh, but shout out to your girlfriend who's coming to the Philippines too, right? If I'm not mistaken. So
yeah,
I want to see how
is.
that's gonna work here too. If titas will do the same.
They'll love her. I mean, she's beautiful. She like looks like a model and everything. Like everyone's gonna be, people aren't gonna want to take pictures with me. They're gonna stop us in the street and ask me to get out of the photo and take pictures with her.
Yeah, I agree. So I think my list will be your parents, your girlfriend, and then you. I'm just kidding.
Wow, Sam, you went from complimenting me to roasting me so quickly. You're like, your skin is great, but I don't even care about taking a picture with you.
I'm just kidding. I have to get on that comedian level, you know.
You're the reverse of the titas. You're hitting on my dad. You're hitting on my dad.
No, okay. Context for everybody. In our exclusive a couple of months ago, I kept telling JR, like, I'm so excited to see your parents too. So in addition to
it's true.
JR.
This feels too real. You know, he's a married man. Okay, Sam.
I respect that.
You need to cool your jets. You respect marriage?
No,
you know, right? God is watching right now.
I do. God loves me, and I know that. So I respect marriage. I'm just a fan.
Not what he told me.
I'm just a fan from afar, right, guys? Okay. We're all fans. If you saw the promo for the show, there was one with his parents. I'm sure you also got very excited to meet his parents after that. But we're also excited that you're here because we are looking forward to a lot of, you know, the things that you're going to be doing at the show. And I do want to talk about one thing I think that was that made us very aware of the kind of humor that you have, which is Interracial Babies. I think a lot of us know that as well, quote unquote, the song that ends racism. So could you tell us more about the story behind Interracial Babies?
Sure. I will just say, first of all, on that thing earlier, I do have a pretty hot dad and he's going to be at the show. So to promote the show, go check out photos of my dad. Get ready to see that. But to your question, Interracial Babies, it's probably one of my most viral songs, I think, because of all of the people who have like interracial kids, you know, like, I mean, all the actors and actresses in the Philippines are mestiza, you know, mix and something. But in general, there's a lot of like mixed babies out there. I wrote that song for in Sacramento, my home comedy club. It's called Laughs Unlimited. I don't know if I can say that, but Laughs Unlimited. Jennifer Canfield is the owner of it. And for her birthday, I wrote that song for her and her kid, who's half black, half white. And it was a gift to her, but somehow it became a gift for me because it became one of the most viral songs that I have. So yeah, that's basically the story. It's not a really long one. It's just one of those things where you write something for a friend and it ended up going viral for me too. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, unexpected, but it happened and now we're here. The progression. I think it's very exciting too, which obviously is why we're looking forward to seeing you again, finally in the Philippines. But aside from you, all of us are also going to be seeing two others as well. So I want to talk to them as well, the opening acts of the show as well. So first up, we have Ryan Puno, who is a comedian, writer, actor, and director. He started the online comedy channel Solid OK, where his original and commercial work have racked up millions of views. And he is a headliner for Comedy Manila and has opened for Rex Navarrete at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. And he was also featured on Comedy Central Stand Up Asia alongside JR de Guzman. So welcome, Ryan Puno.
Hello, thanks for having me, JR. What's up, man? I'm glad everyone's seeing our reuniting live.
No pressure.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the last time we saw each other was it 2018 or 19?
Yeah, I think it was the Comedy Central thing.
Yeah, it was like right before everything shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's been a
We-
minute.
we
It's
caught-
been
we-
a minute.
That's so. You were the last person I touched before the pandemic.
Haven't watched
Yeah.
that.
Nice. I love that. I love that. I love that you're reuniting live in front of everybody here. But we're gonna add another person to the mix also that you're going to be reuniting with right now, and that is Red Olera, who has been doing stand-up for 16 years. He has done sold-out shows in Music Museum, PMC Spotlight, Black Box Theater, and the Samsung Performing Arts Theater. He is also open for international stand-up comedians like Joe Coy, and this time he's going to be opening the show for JRs Guzman. So everybody, please welcome Red Olera, who is also wearing red.
Yes.
Today.
Good branding.
Agreed.
Sorry, I'm muted pala. What's up? What's up, JR?
Hey, Red. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
Red,
I'm not gonna greet
so-
Ryan anymore because I just saw him like.
All the time.
That one's
yeah,
not
we
as
see him all the
exciting.
time.
That's not as exciting.
Kamusta, everyone? Welcome to JR show. I'm very happy to open for JR because we used to do. I think JR mentioned a while ago. We used to do this really weird L-shaped bar.
Hmm.
In BGC. JR would come home here and we would do shows at the Keg, and Ryan has done shows there as well. And I don't think it's just one show. I think we've done like multiple shows there. And I remember thinking, man, we're not gonna make it.
This is tight.
Optimistic, very optimistic.
Nobody's fucking watching us. If the show is free. You know, sorry for the French. But yeah, it's great. Happy to see JR come back in a big theater, same theater that Chappelle did. So I'm very happy, and I'm very happy that JR is paying me way more than we paid him. So yeah.
Oh, man. I remember that night and that bar. You kept telling me there's gonna be a hot room. It's gonna be a hot room.
Yeah.
You have to do this one.
It's the best room we have on Monday.
The crowd in front of you and the crowd slightly to your right.
Yeah. Sometimes,
God.
sometimes you have like 10 people in front of you and 20 people behind you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was
And
doing
that
my
was
jokes
a-
this way.
That was a
Like,
good day.
You guys like this? Yeah, that's so fun.
Wow.
Yeah, but the owners gave us free drinks, so it was a great time. That was like
Worth
what,
it.
9-10 years ago, probably.
Red, I blacked out so hard after that show. So hard after that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
was fun.
it's so nice to see all of you grow, right? Now
Yes.
from bars
We
like
have.
that, to the theater,
We
the
have
big
grown.
theater, like what Red said, where Chappelle actually held his show too. So no pressure, JR.
No pressure, man.
Now they're gonna forget about Chappelle once I go on that stage.
Oh,
Chappelle who? Also,
Chappelle, who?
This is our time.
very exciting. It's gonna be an exciting show. Pero kanina, Ryan and Red, we were talking about fan encounters with JR. He said, the titas is where it's at. Really, it happened. So excited na ako to see how that's gonna play out also in the Philippines. But for you guys, do you also have weird fan encounters or fun fan encounters?
Fun fan encounters.
You want to start, Ryan?
Okay. Oh well, I do. Since you mentioned titas,
Mhm.
I'm popular with the titas too. No, but I do remember because my mom would watch a lot, and then she would bring her friends, and I always remember my one tita after one show just came up to me. She's like, I did not understand what you said, but it was funny. Like on energy alone, I guess I was doing something good. And so it's like, oh, thanks, tita. And then but we didn't hook up like JR probably would.
Oh.
Oh.
Still
But
memorable.
Tita got the vibe.
Yeah,
Tita
yeah,
got the vibe.
yeah.
That's the important thing.
That's enough
How
to
about you,
give,
Red?
Ryan. Just giving it up that vibe, that's enough.
I know.
That's true. Go
No,
ahead, Red.
I do have a tita following too. I don't know, like titas all up in stand-up comedy. Like I remember I met this musician that I was really a fan of, si Crown. And then I was like, yo, come to my show and I'll give you tickets. And I gave him a bunch of tickets and he just came with his mom. I thought he was going to bring like a lot of, cool people with him. But he just brought his mom. But yeah, for a weird fan encounter, there was a time in during the pandemic where people, all have food businesses. I don't know if you remember that, but everybody had food
Yeah.
businesses, and being a fat content creator, I think people wanted to send me a lot of food, so that was a thing, right? So I just, it was very normal to just give out your home address and just, get sent food. But sometimes it gets weird, right? Because you don't know these people; they're strangers. So one time, this guy just sent me food, and I thought he owned the restaurant, but he didn't. He just randomly just sent me food that he bought.
Wow.
Yeah, that he bought from because when the food arrived, I was like, I know this restaurant. So I contacted the person who owns it. Like, hey, you know this guy because he sent me your food. And I'm like, no, I absolutely don't know that guy. And then he sent me food, and I think he just wanted to know where I live because the following week he was like, yo, I'm near your house. You want to hang out? And then I kept ignoring him until to the point, yo, I saw your gate. The gate to your house pala is nice. Your house is really nice. The plants are nice and things like that. And I guess he wanted to hang out with me. And then the final text I got at him was like, yo, you want to get a Jamba Juice or something?
Oh,
That was like after the pandemic. So yeah. That was so last time I gave out my home address too.
That
have you
sounds like
moved since?
you basically did a virtual date with that guy
Yeah.
and then ghosted him.
Yeah, I stood him up.
Man,
Yeah.
heartbreaker.
Leading him on.
Oh
Red.
yeah, Red ghosted that person, but I feel like in ano naman, it was right?
Yeah,
One
I
of the
mean,
few cases.
at one point, I do want to be killed by a stalker. That's like my goal. Like I want to be like on stage and someone shoots me or something, or better like wrestles me and chokes me or something. I don't know, but I don't think it's time. I still want to open for JR.
Yes, hopefully not the show.
Wait till
Hopefully
after
not
that
the
show.
Yeah.
After the show, we were good.
After we'll text the guy right away. Yo, bring your knives.
My gosh. See, guys, the show is going to be very interesting now, but hopefully not that show. It's all going to be good vibes. It's going to be a lot of fun as well. But thank you so much, Ryan and Red, for sharing, of course. But for now, I think our media friends also have questions para sa inyong lahat. And I'm very, very excited to share them with you. But before that, we'd also appreciate, our media friends to rename your Zoom name here so that we know how to properly address you and what outlet you are from, and also for the raffle later on, because of course, so that we can get in touch with you, diba? So let's start off our Q&A with our media friends. If any of our media friends also here have any additional questions, let us know in the chat. Then I will see if we have time later on to read those questions. But are you guys ready for some questions from our media? Yes, ready to go. Okay, so our first one is coming from Alex Brosas of Bandera and Enquirer.net. So this is for JR and Ryan. What's the palpable truth about stand-up comedy in the Philippines, and how do you think it has changed through the years? Interesting.
I feel left out. You don't want to. You want to ask me that?
Also
Just
Red.
JR and
Also
Ryan.
Red.
Yeah.
Also Red.
Yeah, they
I'm
want
going
they
to-
want it from
Lines,
me
man.
Yeah.
because I
Oh.
moved away when I was 1 year old, and so let me tell you about stand up in the Philippines.
Okay, so this is for everybody now. Ryan, Red, anybody?
They're
Go
pitting.
ahead.
I mean, I think you guys go ahead because I was
Yes.
only there. I've only performed there that 1 year, and so I
Mhm.
don't know it. But I will say from the outside looking in, to see how much you guys have grown it, because you guys are really, I mean, from when I was there, kind of the founders of comedy in the Philippines, which is amazing. So I'm actually genuinely interested to hear how it's been for you guys, like growing it and what it's like out there.
Red, why don't you take this one?
I think didn't Ryan is like you have the most experience on both sides too. See, Ryan. Yeah, but locally,
Ah,
definitely locally. Um, stand up here is it's like a developing scene. So if you perform, like say when JR was here before, like around 2013, 2014, uh this would have been like a very hard scene to perform at because people does not know how to behave yet in a stand-up comedy scene. Like so what you should work on is the tightness of your set because you don't want their attention to go away because Filipinos, when they're not entertained anymore, like when they hear your joke and you're babbling after that, they'll start going to your phones or ordering drinks or talking to their to their friends, right? But now I think people are more aware of how to behave in a stand-up comedy scene. I think it's because, not just us doing the shows here, but also you get see a lot of like stand-up comedy content on YouTube and Netflix. And it has risen in popularity too because of, uh Filipino comedians who brought it to the mainstream, like Joe Coy, JR, Rex, all those guys. I think we all contributed to I guess educating educating the very pinklawan term, educating the crowd on how to behave. Like recently I had like a baby crying in my show. And then if this was like 2014, people wouldn't know it. It's like a terrible thing to have, or like why. So I started like, doing jokes on the baby. Uh like asking if the baby paid the ticket and things like that. And then when I came out with the clip, it was well received. If you came out with that like 10 years ago, people would be like, what did the baby do to you? Like they wouldn't understand like why is it like a terrible thing to have a crying baby at a show. So I think it's very it's not more of like the Philippines having a different culture, but more of like it's just a scene that's developing. And I think in about another 10 years, it should be as close to where the States is at. Oh yeah.
yeah, you're here. I agree with everything Red said. But, but to add something new, I
Yeah.
think one thing that I've seen really develop is definitely in the performers too. The number of performers. When Red and I started out here, it was just me, Red, and just really a handful of guys. And we would be the audience. There'd be maybe one person in the audience, but now it's just to see how it's grown. Like if you sign up for an open mic, there's like a waiting list, and there's going to be like 30 people on the lineup, and like just as many people, more people in the audience. So there's really, you've seen that growth in the audience, like Red was saying, but also in the performers. There's a lot of people that are interested in it, and what I think has been really nice to see is you see so many different voices. Like I've always, even like when I started out, a lot of my stand-up was really in English, and so it's as I've grown, I've found my audience, and a lot of people with their own unique styles have just kind of found their audience, and it's just been really great to see because stand-up is a thing you like enjoying multiple people, and you have like a handful of favorites, and I think that's building here, and to me that's really exciting to see.
For sure. I think the growth both in the audience, people who appreciate stand-up, and also the performers, I think is something that we've been seeing, especially in the last few years. Also thanks to, like what Red said, digital and like social media and all of that. And yeah, we're excited to see where it goes in the future too, especially that we're bringing the show then to the Philippines very, very soon. So thank you to Alex Rosas for that question. But next up we have a question for JR. From Sheila Reyes of ABS-CBN News, for JR, how does performing in different countries and cultures influence your material, and how do you adapt your style to connect with diverse audiences?
Well, the places that I've performed over, like, not in the US have been, I think, Canada, Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, Philippines, and Indonesia. And so from those experiences, I mean, that was like a lot of those were in 2013, 14 when I saw Red, and then Comedy Central Asia with Ryan in Singapore. And I find it's pretty straightforward as far as not doing local references and inside things that are culturally you would know as somebody in the US, and just doing things that are more relatable, like family, I mean, making love. I don't know if I can say that. I was gonna say the other word, but I was like, we're on this. Like, I don't know who is watching this. Yeah, because Red talked about babies a second ago, so I'm like, I don't know who the Filipino fan base is watching right now. But you know, like, and for me, it's been helpful to have music as I go internationally, because I feel like that's kind of universal. But I will say it is hard to figure out what is going to work in one country and another country. And I think it's just something you have to find out by doing shows there. So that's was there a second part to that question? How do you adapt to connect? Yeah, I think honestly, I think trying to think more broad and on a human level than a cultural level when I travel overseas. That's kind of how I adapt my set when I travel.
Yeah, I like that you said, you know, you're kind of staying away from things that are like culturally, you know, in that country. I think that's very related to our next question too, from Kate. She's asking for everybody in this age of woke and cancel culture, are there topics you don't, you know, dare touch on, and how do you deal with like hecklers and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to jump in on this one, I'm interested to see it because I know cancel culture in America. So cancel culture in the Philippines, I'm really curious about.
Yeah. Well, there is cancel culture here, of course. But you get canceled for the weirdest stuff. Yeah. Like I don't know if this is too early for this, but yeah. This age of woke, and all right, so I think the best answer here is more of there are topics you won't dare touch on. I do, but it's not because I don't want to offend someone. It's more of like I just personally can't write any jokes about it, you know, like I can't possibly think of anything funny about disabled people or illness, people with illnesses and things like that. But if I do hear a joke about them and it's, you know, it sounds pretty funny, I'm not gonna cancel someone for doing it, you know. So it's just more of like a personal thing. With hecklers, there have been like different kinds of hecklers here. One is the drunk guy. So he's just drunk. You just, you know, you just have to talk to him and give him a little bit of attention, and then that's it. And then the offended ones are like the worst. Like before, I had a joke about how awesome our church songs are, because even though if you don't go to church for a long time, you still remember it by heart, right? So and then he caught the part of my performance where I was, you know, singing the church songs in a very Red Oliero way. So everybody was laughing, and he thought, you know, and he came in just at that, and then he thought it was super offensive. So he got up in my face like after I went down from the stage, and then followed me to the backstage before security started picking up that, yo, this guy's harassing one of our performers. So yeah, that happened. So I think you can curate your topics that you don't want to talk about, but people will find a way, or not find a way, but people will always have some sort of like way to get offended. Like no matter, like I would do jokes about religion, and I would do jokes about politics, and people would get offended. And I could do jokes about myself, my own experiences, and people will get offended still. Like I did a joke about the band Eraserheads, and I got and I got more negative reactions for that than any of my jokes ever. So you really don't know what topic you're gonna pick. So I think you just gotta stick to, you know, expressing yourself honestly and genuinely.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I think it's all like authenticity. Um, and I think I'm me personally, I'm of the belief that nothing really is off topic. Like when in this line of work, I mean, we're making jokes, and you know, like what Red's saying, even if you see someone and it's like you know something that's on the line or it's a really you know taboo topic, if it's funny, you know, is the comic coming from a place of authenticity? Is it a thoughtful observation? Is it written well? You know, these are the things I appreciate, and I think you know really to me like the mark of a really good comedian is if they can just stay on the line and just dance on that line and
Mhm.
not go overboard and but at the same time really kind of push it. To me those are really good moments, and to me make a really good comedian. And then with hecklers, yeah, I mean like one thing that I kind of my go-to is you just make friends with them because then you make friends with them, it's easier to tell them to shut up. And that's
True.
one trick. Like, hey, what's your name, man? And then like, yeah, shut the fuck up. You know, that's just one really quick technique. One time, the worst heckler I maybe had was like one guy had a meeting, like literally like dinner meeting sila in the middle of the
Oh
room.
my god.
And this was in
Wow.
Borough, when we had our Borough gigs right in
Yeah.
Podium. We was having a meeting, and it actually worked to my advantage because they were not there for the show, so I just made like 3 or 5 minutes of jokes just about them. The audience was really loving it. They had no idea I was talking about them until like the very end. So it worked to my advantage. So you know, I think that's the main thing dealing with heckles. Just how can I make this work for me right now?
Mhm.
How can I just still create a joke, squeeze a joke out of it? So that's been my approach.
Yeah, I agree on there's not really anything that I wouldn't touch if I could make it funny. Like I won't be find something that's on the line just to be on the line, but if it's a topic that I genuinely think I can have a funny perspective on, then I would do it. But like and like also like Red was saying, like there's some things that I just think I don't really have an opinion on that is worth bringing to the stage. You know, if people paid to come see a show, like I want to talk about things that I feel like this is about like worth performing. And so I do think it is a thing of like if another comic is doing a topic that is risky and they do a really good job and make it funny, by all means do it. Um, so for me, I don't think there's anything really I wouldn't talk about. That being said, I have done some things where people will message me or DM me or send an email, and it really like I was like, oh, should I stop doing this? But similar to like again what Red you were saying was somebody's gonna like every joke in your set, somebody can find something to be offended
Yeah.
by. So if you cut out every joke that offended one person, you wouldn't have a set. So I do think you kind of have to just like, you know, find that line of like, okay, am I actually an asshole or is this person just being sensitive? And I ask myself that every night before I go to sleep. But I do think it's like if you genuinely believe in it and believe in it's funny, then you should keep it in your set. But hecklers, I have a pretty it's so funny, like I have such a similar thing to Ryan, is like I think because I look like a nice guy and friendly guy, that when I tell someone to shut the fuck up, it's not intimidating at all. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna fight you. They're like, oh, that's cute, I'll stop, you know. So I kind of have the same approach as Ryan.
Love that. I mean, like you guys said, you can't please everybody all the time. And I think it's always best to make the best of any situation. So I love that it also applies to comedy. I know it's a very difficult art to learn to, but to hear you guys talk about it here, I think is really exciting as well. But we have another question coming from John Bueno of Cumacao. John asks, JR, this isn't your first time performing in the country, and I remember you telling a story about how you bombed a set after Alex Calleja. So how do you deal with jokes that don't land smoothly?
You know what? That one I blame Alex. He was just too good that night. My jokes
We've all
are
been
great.
there.
No, I mean Alex is just he was just so strong that night, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
he was just like really good and the crowd just like loved him so much. I don't even want to tell that story again. I wanted to erase it, but I keep telling it on every one of these press conferences, so I'll just tell it again. I did this show, it was for Valentine's Day. I think Alex went before me and he just crushed it so hard. And then and I was like still pretty new. I think I was like at that point I was probably 2 or 3 years in. And then I went up and did my set and I bombed pretty hard. And then they were like, "Oh, could you bring Alex back on?"
Oof.
And that was just the hardest I've ever bombed in my life. But that being said, I think if a joke doesn't work, like I'm it's kind of like boxing. I think you just kind of have to keep going unless it's so obvious that it made the crowd feel awkward. But if a joke doesn't work, like it's I heard this metaphor, it's like flying a plane. Like if you have turbulence on the plane and you're the pilot and you're freaking out, then the passengers are going to get worried. But if there's turbulence and you have the confidence that you can land the plane, then they're going to be calm and just sit through the turbulence until you land. I feel the same way with my set where it's like, okay, I have a few jokes that aren't working, but I know that I can do this well. I know I can, you know, give you guys an entertaining show and make it to the end of my set. We can survive this, you guys. But yeah, I think that's my take on that.
Great way to put it. I think a lot of people can definitely relate to that too. But another question coming from John is, we have learned your folks weren't supportive of your career back then, but how do they feel now?
My dad does my taxes now, so I think he's pretty supportive.
Shout out to Tito.
No, they're supportive. Like they're really excited. My dad, like people just like you, Sam, people will at the show be more excited for when I bring him up on stage towards the end of my show, like if he's there. And even to the point where I'll mess with the crowd sometimes. I'll be like, "Oh, you guys, my dad's here. Give it up for my dad." And they'll cheer the hardest they've cheered the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, "All right, he's actually not here." And then they'll be the maddest they've ever been throughout the whole show.
It's gonna be
so that's gonna be you. Yeah, he's not coming at all. I was just playing tricks on you, Sam. No, he'll be there. He'll be there. You got your photo op.
I'm like
You look
about
so
to end
sad.
this call.
I know. You're like, guys, the show is canceled. JR is not coming. Yeah, they're
No,
they're
but
very
shout out-
supportive
yeah.
now.
For sure. Shout out to your parents and obviously parents of people who, you know, I feel like Filipino parents too, of kids who decided to pursue arts of any kind. I know
Yep.
it's difficult for them.
Can I ask,
can all
is it the
relate.
same? So because in America, right, I mean, the stereotype with Filipino parents wanting you to be a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever,
Mhm.
is it the same thing as like for you guys going into stand-up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom-
My parents would probably be more proud of me if I was a doctor or something.
They would maybe love me a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yeah, more. It's not even a
Yeah.
competition.
No.
You can have three Netflix specials. You can sell out arenas, and
No.
they're still trying to get you into medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should have been a doctor.
I know. It's
No,
amazing.
but I think we can all relate to that, definitely. But thank you so much, John, for your questions. Thank you so much. Next we have from Natalie Tomato of the Philippine Star. So, actually asked through Zoom also. Sorry, let me just pull that up. Okay, so, oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, here, Natalie. A lot of people, especially Filipino fans, were introduced to you over the pandemic, JR, online. But how challenging was it to be funny during that time, and what makes you laugh nowadays?
You know, it's interesting because I think I built my fan base more during the pandemic, like
Mhm.
doing digital stuff. And Ryan, I know you do a lot of digital stuff too, so I'm sure you kind of experienced that where more people were at home, and then I was also not touring, so the only way to connect with people was online. And I was really fortunate to have that like work out and have people like just stuck at home laughing at my clips. So for me, I think it was digitally, it was really good, but live, I mean, there was almost nothing happening.
Mhm.
So I rarely did a live show at that time. And the one of the few times that I did do it, I actually got COVID. So then I stopped for like,
Oh my.
it was God
my
just
God.
punishing me, you know?
Yeah. Not yet.
But, yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, who's laughing now? And so at that time, for me, it was maybe like the silver lining of having to stay at home was that I got a lot better at doing digital stuff. I learned how to edit. I bought a camera. I started making beats at home about, like, I would get a topic from people online and then I would make a beat about it. So for me, that was like the good part of it. But of course, the COVID part sucked. But I was thinking, was there another part of that question that I'm missing?
What makes you laugh nowadays? I guess for everybody can answer.
Yeah, right. Honestly, like, I have the dumbest sense of humor. Like, online videos actually make me laugh the hardest. So like, you know, clips or the sketches, like what kind of like what Ryan's doing, like those sketches. I'm addicted to TikTok and Instagram, like scrolling.
Yeah.
So that's probably what makes me laugh the hardest now. There was a sketch called 1-800-Gangster that I watched the other day. And it's just this thing where you can call up a gangster and talk almost like a dating hotline. And I was just crying laughing at that. So I should have said one of Ryan's clips. I was laughing at one of Ryan's clips. I meant.
I already know you laugh at those. What's making me laugh? Yeah, I think same to JR. A lot of just dumb online stuff. You know, Red actually, one of the things Red reshares a lot, I found, is kids getting hurt.
Yep, kids getting hurt. That's the best.
Sorry, I mean,
I follow that page too.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, a kid falling. To me, you know, I'm my comedy's simple. You know, someone falling down, a kid getting hurt. Sometimes you can't beat that simplicity. So,
especially if he deserves it, you know, like if like the best ones are like when they're being bratty at the start, and then you know and something happens to them after. That's the best one.
Yeah. Them being bratty is the setup, and them falling is the punchline.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can be like the best comedian in the world, but you'll never beat kids getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you could spend years on the greatest like bit and the structure, but a kid falling down is just it's gonna be funnier than you.
Seriously.
Exactly.
For sure. It's simplicity. Like the
Yeah.
universe coming together for that moment to happen.
Yeah.
I think nothing can beat that at all. But I just got with Natalie Tumada of Philippine Stars actually here and can ask her question, which she sent in the chat. So Natalie, if you are here, please join us. Don't be shy. You can unmute, camera on if you would love to or like to. Ooh, you know, switching it up.
Okay.
Why not?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Where are
Natalie.
you? I don't know if
Sorry.
it's-
Okay, I'm on it.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, hi. Hi, everyone. So my question is for, I actually typed in my question in the Zoom chat, but I'll ask it anyway. So for everyone, I would like to know, when did you first learn that you were funny, and can you also share what did you remember most from your first ever gig or a stand-up performance, and how fun was that or embarrassing? Thank you.
Why does this feels like a dating show?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Best foot forward.
For me, Ryan and Red. Well, what's up, Natalie? Hey, hey girl, you know, that's a great question. Let me well, first of all, okay, actually I forgot what the question is. Sorry, I'm being it was when did you first find out you're funny? I mean, I think like you're funniest when you're with your grade school friends, again, like saying dumb jokes. Like that, I was funnier than I am on stage now. Like, I think just hanging out with friends and doing weird voices, like impersonating people, stuff like that. I think that's when I first knew like I could make people laugh. I wasn't like a class clown, but I was like the 3 or 4 kids around me. I would be really funny for those guys. And then my first stand-up set, I did okay, but in my head I was like amazing, and I was like, okay, I should get an HBO special now. How does this work? But yeah, my first stand-up set, the main thing I remember was there was I I forgot some of my jokes and I started riffing. There was a blind lady in the audience and we started kind of riffing together where like, I guess when in doubt, I just like flirt with an audience member. I think like, and that was the one thing I remember from that first set.
Nice. I have a similar answer, I guess. Friends. That's what kind of got me into it. You know, you make your friends laugh. And at the same time, I was watching more stand-up. I was getting more interested into it. And then, so just natural, I was like, maybe I could try this. Maybe it'll work. You know, maybe I'd be funny with strangers. My first time doing it was, I remember I was in college at the time. I was in Ateneo, and the only place I could do it was like this literary open mic. So it's like it's all poetry readings, you know, people with these really short stories, and then me. And I same with JR. You know, I felt it went really well. I do remember I got laughs, so it's not, I didn't bomb. Everyone was amused that I was there to tell jokes, so it was encouraging. And then yeah, soon after that, Red and I met na in Laugh-A-Palooza, and that was
We fell in love.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, same. It's well, first of all, thank you for the question, Madam Vice President. It's very joke lang baka baka ma-article ako ng malala dito. No, yeah, the same lang. Like you start knowing you're funny with your friends. And I think I also started finding out I had an affinity towards funny people when I started hanging out with funny people. Like I've had like friends in high school that are like incredibly funny, and I'm just happy they didn't choose this profession because I'd be out of the job. So you know, you always find people in your life that are way funnier than you, and then that's when you realize that you have an affinity towards, you know, funny stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I think also with the things that you consume, if you tend to consume more funny stuff growing up, I think that would like kind of reflect on your personality.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Natalie, for your questions. And thanks for joining us here today. Thank you so much. Now let's get to questions from Josephine Bonsall of www.jobonsall.net. This for everybody. What particular funny story about the Philippines still leaves you laughing until this very day?
Yeah, you go ahead. Or
There's
well,
a lot.
I mean, the only thing I really remember that I still remember, I didn't even know this is funny. It was almost kind of sad. Was those, and if you guys are friends or related to any of these guys, those like Filipino divers in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Is that like that was like from a long time ago? I mean, I don't know. That's just one of the things I still remember. Well, I wish them luck. I don't know where they're at now, but they should open at the show too.
I remember that. Actually, a wave of memories just flashed when you said. I do remember like how they were like really like picking each other up after their crappy dives. They're like,
yeah. I take it back. I wish those guys the best. I love them.
Sure. How about Ryan Uren?
Oh, that's a tough one. A funny thing about the Philippines is like daming hassle.
Yeah. I'm really fighting hard not to say the government, pero already said it.
That's probably the first thing that entered our mind.
Keeps popping in my mind over and over.
That's the thing is, speaking of cancel culture, right? Talking about the government at the show, I don't know what works over there or doesn't work, or what you guys can say and not say. Yeah. You know, so that's something you don't get canceled. It's like a different thing, I feel like.
No, I think you don't get canceled. I think it's just part of doing political jokes. Is just, you know, you're just gonna anger one side and be really friends with one side.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, maybe like some simple thing, like since we like, kids falling down and people getting hurt. One thing that also always makes me laugh is just people getting barok. I mean, it's a simple thing.
Simple.
It's simple,
Yeah.
it's effective. I'm not sure if you know barok. It's basically when someone mispronounces like an English word or it doesn't use proper English. It's classic.
Yeah, there's a clip. There's a clip that I saw where this guy, I think, was going to English, but then he started laughing at his own English. That made me laugh so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. It happens to all of us. I think that's why it's funny.
And yes.
I live here and I still can barely speak the English language. So that's why I'm going to the Philippines to do shows.
Relatable. Okay, let's get to another question coming from Josephine. Who would you like to meet and collaborate among local artists? So I guess for everybody, this also works.
Local being like in the Philippines?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm excited to be with Ryan and Red again. Let's bromancing it up because it's just, I mean, I was so excited to do this show. Like, I think that being able to pick openers and everything too was I was just excited to like work with you guys. Just so it's like beyond that, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of people, but like just working with your friends is so fun.
For sure.
But I've already met you guys, so actually, the answer doesn't work anymore. I'll say Manny Pacquiao then. I want to play basketball with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, and he's somewhat of a comedian.
Oh yeah.
These days.
Every
why not?
post-fight conference is really funny.
Yes.
But yeah.
How about Ryan and Red? Is there anybody you want to work with?
I know Ryan wants to work with Baron Geisler.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like his dream collaboration is Baron Geisler.
That's a solid okay dream.
Yeah.
So our little online digital creator channel, we do want to work with Baron Geisler only, but for a weird reason, because of when he this is weird to bring up, but when he got arrested, I think years back.
Yeah.
And we love me and the writers, we love watching that clip of where he's being super conyo in the precinct. And it just cracks us up, eh. But we're glad he's doing, really well now. And I know he's a fan of Red. He
keeps liking my post but not going to my show. So hopefully someday.
We dream working of him in like the sense because he's such a talented actor and he's so kind of he's
like he'd bring something very different to the table. You know what I mean? Like
So I feel if he just told him we're just gonna do this dumb comedy thing, I feel he'd just go all in on it, and that that's something that would be really fun.
I want to Google this guy now.
Oh,
what's his name?
Baron Geisler.
Oh, I found him. Okay.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Like I really want to collaborate with musicians, and like one of the people I really want to collaborate with is Glock 9. I don't know if you like. Man, I'm such a Glock 9 fan. Glock 9 and Rico Blanco would be like two people like I'd want to have shows with. But came close to performing in front of Rico Blanco once. I was performing in this bar, and then he came in with some of friends, and then he sat outside. And I didn't know if there were speakers outside that he could hear me, or so I don't know if he likes me or not. Until this day. I don't.
To be determined.
Yeah, to be determined. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we're gonna manifest all of these in the future. Maybe our next press conference together is for one of those.
Baka pwedeng i-hook up ng mix yan.
Oh, exactly. Diba? Oh, let's go. Okay, next question is coming from Christian Melanie Lee of Manila Concert Junkies. For JR, what is your most memorable show that you did?
That's a good question too. I mean, I feel like you remember when you bomb, and then you also remember the best shows. Everything in between, you kind of just get blended together. But two of the highlights for me career-wise have probably been opening for Joe Coy at Madison Square Garden. And that was just last year. And
Damn.
then my other one was in my hometown. I performed at Memorial Auditorium. It's just this like other auditorium, again, opening for these guys. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Who did I open for on that show? Oh yeah, David Keckner. And I did that show, and that was the show that the tape from that show is how I got my first Netflix special, that short one that was part of a series. So those two have been like really big ones for me to remember in my career.
And hopefully JR de Guzman later that evening, Philippine leg.
That's the next one. I'm so excited for that one. I just feel like having the right people around and like the energy being good, that's what's going to make the show. So I'm really excited for that one too.
For sure. We're going to manifest that. Okay. Next, from Edsel Roy of starmometer.com. What is your favorite, for JR, what is your favorite joke inspired by your Filipino upbringing, and how do people from the other race relate to it? Other races.
A joke by my Filipino upbringing. My favorite joke from my Filipino upbringing. I mean, I just talk about how I learned how to sing and play music in the church. And then because my grandma took me to church like twice a day when we were growing up. And I think like talking about that, I won't do the whole joke right now, by the way, but like, I think talking about that stuff, usually everyone just kind of gets it, because like, even if you're not Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever it is, I feel like everyone kind of relates to having that sort of strict, like conservative religious grandparent in some way, who like every problem you have, they tell you to pray. So doing it in front of other cultures, I haven't really had a problem with it or anything.
So there you go, you guys. Now we know the secret behind that. But we also have another one coming from Edsel. Since you're always on tour, do you research on what kind of audience or on a specific place that you're going to, and the kind of pattern of jokes that you have with them?
Not too much. Like the best way I can figure stuff about that city or the place that I'm going to is usually from talking to the comics from that place, because that's kind of like where I get most of my research. Like I ask people like, hey, would this work in that city, or would I need to use a different reference? And so like when I was in Malaysia, I would ask some of the locals there, like, hey, what would this joke or song that I have work here? And then I'll try to find something funny about that city that I can like start the show off with, to sort of like build that connection with the audience right away, to not just be like, hey, this is the show I do in every city. I want to establish like a connection with them that's more personal and intimate, like for that specific city too.
So I can imagine like it takes certain kind of preparation, but not too much too, I feel like, with every city that you go to, especially with the difference of people who's going to be attending. But those are the questions coming from Edsel. And last but not least, from our pre-submitted questions coming from Brian Graham of Capex Official. If I'm not mistaken, I think Brian is here and is going to be asking his questions personally. Hi, Brian. Please don't be shy.
Hi guys.
Hey Brian.
Yeah, my question is, have you ever had audience walk out on you because they didn't like your material or they found it offensive?
Brad, damn. Man, Brian, you're really selling the show.
It's a good last question.
That is a good last question. So honestly, real 100% straight, right? This last week, I was in Tampa, or 2 weekends ago, and there was a couple that walked out, but the story is not, it's just a random thing. So this couple, they were gone throughout my whole set. I heard later on that they were fighting. They went to the bathroom to have like a fight or argument or something, which is very nice of them to not do it at the show. But then they came back in, and I think I like asked them one thing. I was like, hey, how are you guys doing? And the guy he was just already mad and walked out of the show. Now, granted, it wasn't really like specific to anything that I said, but I did have them walk out for that. So other than that, I don't remember. I feel like I've had people walk out of something before. but I'd rather have them walk out than like stay and talk, if that makes sense. It's usually like drunk people that you have to kick out.
Okay, so hopefully in the audience in the Philippines, nothing too intense happens. I think everybody's gonna have a good time anyway, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But thank you so much, Brian, for your question. Thanks for joining us too and asking it personally. Now we have a question coming from Harold for JR Harold of whatsup.ph for JR. Are you familiar with the style of stand-up comedy in the Philippines, like slapstick, you need to be ugly to be funny, making fun of physical appearance of others, etc.? And what is your opinion about it?
I'm not super familiar with that. I mean, I'd probably, again, it's one of these things where I talk to Red and Ryan and be like, hey, do we have to be ugly to be funny? And and you know what? I'm getting older, I'm getting more wrinkles. I talked about that, so I think I'm doing okay. But no, I don't know too much about it. I knew a little bit about sort of like the, not burlesque, what is it called? Like vaudeville, sort of like drag comedy
minstrel
shows. Yeah.
Yes.
I knew about that a little bit. And it's almost, to me, it's almost just like the same as doing crowd work in stand-up, but just as you know, as yourself and not in drag or dressed up in a character. So I mean, I have faith in like every audience that even if it's not that style of comedy, they'll still understand what we're doing stand-up wise up there. And Ryan and Red have been training audiences to not bring babies. They've been training them how to laugh and all that stuff. So if it works, it's thanks to them. If it doesn't work, it's your guys' fault.
For sure. Meetings at the shows too. I think that's also something they've been trained for. So we're excited to see how everything goes at the show. But this is actually the last question submitted through our chat from Bix Almacen of Bix Buzz Abante. And it's for everybody. Why do you guys think girls like funny guys? Ooh.
Do
they?
Yeah, when do we cash in on that?
I didn't know. I thought
No one told us this.
I thought it was my body that they like.
Yeah.
Isn't it like, I don't want to make like a sweeping, this is what all women want kind of statement. I think it's just but man, it's so hard to answer. On behalf of women, this is what I think they like. No, I think it's just preference with different kinds of things. I know for a fact that there are other women that don't like funny guys, you know, like they want to be the funny person. I have no idea. Like I think it's just preference with a lot of I think we're also discovering that people have different preferences. We're not just, you know, stereotyping one perfect kind of personality and things like that. So yeah, I think it's just boils down to preferences. I'd like to say I'm funny, and I like to date girls who think I'm funny. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel very worthy of her. So yeah, I think that's the answer.
I think we just give ourselves a good chance because we are always just trying to be funny, and I think there's just a certain mental thing that gets unlocked in us, that conversation is just it feels different.
Yeah, we keep it going, no? Parang ganun.
Yeah, we have this, I guess that's a skill that gets kind of, you know, built in you, is that you can just hold a conversation in a way that is entertaining. And I think ultimately that's, you know, that's what you want, I guess, out of a relationship or a date, is just want it to be fun. And
yeah. I just, for some reason, I'm thinking about this story this is Reddit for Red and Ryan. There was this girl who DM'd me in Asia. Actually, I don't even know if I should be saying this right now. Maybe
say
I
it.
should.
You already started
I already get canceled. We're already at the
You already
We're
started
so
it.
close to the end without getting canceled. Can I just talk about the Philippine government instead?
We'll be way safer to talk about the government.
This girl messaged me. Okay, this is something you guys will like, Ryan read, because this girl messaged me in America. She was like, what did she say? She was simply like, why are Asian guys just more interesting to talk to? And then she sent me an emoji of rice, which was kind of racist. But and I don't know why this made me think of that today, but I don't know if that answers your question, but it's a thing that happened. So
Yeah.
does that answer it? I think that's the answer, Sam.
Yeah, no, I think it boils down to vibes, you know, if they vibe you, if you're funny or not, I think that's just what it is. I mean, but I love interacting with funny people. Obviously, I think a lot of us do. It makes, like what you guys said, everything, it's like a level up, more interesting, you know, like it makes things, I guess, also easier to talk. Well, for me, it's easier for me to talk to people who can keep a conversation going. So I think that answers the question. But thank you so much, Vix, for your question. And of course, all of our media friends, thank you for all of your questions here today, for Ryan, for Red, and of course for JR as well. And just so that you guys, you know, feel rewarded after, you know, all of your questions here today, we actually have a raffle going on right now. It's very exciting. We're going to be raffling out exciting prizes, namely mix merch, which is 5 mix shirts and 5 winners of 2 gold tickets each to see JR de Guzman this June. So we have a total of 10 winners, 5 of the mix shirts, and then 5 winners of 2 gold tickets, so that you can bring a friend, your family, whoever you're dating right now. Perfect date idea. Okay, so we have our very high-tech wheel of names right now. We are gonna choose the 5.
Oh, my
winners of
name's
the
not there.
shirts first. I'm so sorry, Red.
I want to win.
I'm so sorry, Red. Maybe you can win tickets somewhere else.
We'll find a way.
Yes. Okay, so let's start off with the 5 winners of the mixed shirts. Then we'll do your thing. Dun, dun. Yay, congratulations to our first winner, Leo Balante. Then removed Leo Balante. Well. Oh my gosh, congrats to Christopher Pernell. Congrats, Burns, for winning a mixed shirt. Okay, 3 more winners. Then. Oh, shout out to Brian, also winning today. Asked a question a while ago. And Erickson Laios as well. Congratulations. And if I'm not mistaken, our last one for the mixed shirt. Dun. Natalie Tomago also asked a question a while ago. So congratulations to Natalie, our 5 winners of the shirts. We will get in touch with you for you to get your merch. But now we are going to raffle off the 5. We're gonna pick 5 names for the winners of 2 tickets each to the show to see JR, Ryan, and Red. Oh, diba guys? 2 tickets for you have somebody with you. Okay. Congratulations, MJ Felipe. Love it. Okay, our first winner, MJ. Next, we have Alan Sancon. Congratulations as well. That's already 2 of the 5. Sorry, 3 more. Dun. Sheila Reyes. Congratulations to Sheila Reyes as well. Last 2.
Let's go, humility, Javier.
Richard Paglikawan, congratulations.
Oh no, last chance.
One last chance. True.
Let's go, humility.
Where is that? Hindi ko nakita.
I know.
In green.
No!
Gabi!
Oh.
No, but yes, because Melody Christian Lee won. Woo! So congratulations to all of our winners. Somebody from us will be getting in touch with all of you to get your tickets, but also to those who won the mixed shirt. So congratulations to everybody. And now we will do a little photo op with everybody. So don't be shy. to turn on your camera. Everybody, let's take a Zoom digital photo. Show your beautiful, handsome faces to everybody so that we can all take a photo. See, you're all there pala.
What's up, everybody?
Deserve pala ni
Whoa.
Christian Melanie Lee kasi nasa bush siya ngayon. Nag-attend ng
Exactly,
press
tama.
con. Yeah.
Yan ang hardworking.
Hardworking.
Okay, everybody, is this everybody? Want to turn on your camera? Okay, we're gonna take a photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Filipino wacky shot. Go 1, 2, 3. Jump shot. I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you everybody. But jump shot, no. Thank you everybody for joining us for the photo op as well. But before we go, Ryan, Red, do you want to say thank you to our media friends who joined us here today?
Yes, for sure. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks for thanks for everyone's time. See you all at the show. Thanks JR for bringing us on the show. And yeah, happy to be here. Excited.
Thank you, everyone. Please follow me at Comedy by Red on all my social media. Thanks everyone. Hope to see you all at the show. JR is really funny, guys. Like I've known this since we were performing in the keg in BGC. So yeah, very, 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 very psyched, and congratulations, JR, for the show and your career success. Hopefully, you pay me more money in the future. Thank you.
I love it. But
thank you guys. I'm so excited to be on the show with you guys. Oh, sorry, Sam. No.
Go ahead. Go ahead, JR.
I was just gonna say too, like I'm just super stoked. I mean, Ryan and Red, I mean, I picked them because I think they're some of the funniest comics, not just in the Philippines, but even on that scale of comics I've seen in the US. So I'm really excited to do the show. Thanks, Sam, for hosting it again and doing your interview skills, moderating everything, and for hitting on my dad again. And all you guys too who took your time out of your days to be on here and watch us just be ridiculous and silly. Thank you guys too. Can't wait for the show.
Yes, we can't wait. So you guys will be able to see Ryan, Red, and of course JR this coming June 3 at the theater at Solaire. Make sure to invite your friends, family, yung mga kapitbahay ninyo, yung mga dinedate nyo ngayon. Make sure to let them know that the show is happening on June 3. Once again, go on a date, watch the show with your friends, your family, and you can get tickets, which are available at ticketworld.com.ph or at Solaire box office. So we hope to see everybody on June 3 for JR de Guzman later that evening. Very, very exciting, where you also get to see Ryan Puno and Red Olero. But thank you, everybody who joined us today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And of course, thank you so much, Ryan and Red.